Rockies, I got order from Mars this morning. Yes, this commercial we have to do completely naked.
Oh, we have to do it naked?
Yes, so, I'm already prepared if you are.
Sure. Can I wear my phony tatas?
If you want to wear your phony tatas, that's up to you. It's all good. Just,
Now that would be hilarious, eh?
yes, it would. It's a good thing we're not filming, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, wait a minute. Bird, you go ahead and you tell what time we're on.
Why am I doing it?
Because it's like...
Because this isn't an answer.
All right, Mars said so.
Say go.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, peeps, and join us Saturday evening at 9 o'clock for the Two-Faced News, where we talk about everything and anything.
That's right, everything and anything, whether it's relevant or not, we're there.
Right, so join us at CJ Mars Saturday night.
That's right. And now that we're done, can we put our clothes back on?
Yes, we can.
Oh, thank you so much. Have you got the tea water going yet?
Yes, I do.
Me too. Okay, let's have a cup of tea. We're done.
You are listening to WCJV Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, New York.
Don't Hey everybody, this is Roger Belt, and I'll be your host tonight. We are live on WCJV Digital Broadcasting out of Youngstown, New York. And my host needs no introduction, but I'll do it anyway. Mrs. C.J. John Pierre, the owner and operator of this wonderful network.
Well, good evening, Roger.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
Wondering what I'm doing here, but that's okay. Go right ahead.
Okay. I was kind of holding back just a little bit. This is Half Past Dead Paranormal Radio, and yes, we are back. Glad to have everybody here, Dita, Mars, and everybody listening in, phone, via, and otherwise. We have with us tonight Mr. Michael Gray of the CJ Mars radio program, Parlay.
Hello.
Welcome aboard.
Hi, Roger. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to this because you are the, in my opinion, the conspiracy expert, although we're not doing conspiracy tonight. We're doing paranormal and sci-fi and whatnot, but
right.
I know you know a lot about all that too, so.
I don't know. I'm not necessarily, I don't know if I'd call myself a conspiracy expert.
Why do you?
A lot of my friends call me a conspiracy nut. You know, they think I'm
well, they
think
call
I'm
everybody
crazy.
That believes in conspiracy a nut. So,
right.
You know, you fit right in with all the rest anyway.
Right.
But anyway, I'm going to start this thing off with, I heard that you had some interesting experiences either on a trip to or a trip home from New Orleans. And
yeah, both actually, yeah.
Everybody knows that New Orleans is famous for haunted places like the Cemetery No. 1 and all that stuff,
yeah.
and lots of other locations down there. What kind of paranormal activity did you experience?
Well, okay, well, I have at the time, I think I was 24, 25, and my friend Donnie, I won't say his last name. I had a friend named Donnie. He's still a friend of mine today, actually. He said, hey, a group of his friends, because he was in college at the time. He was about 18, 19, you know, and he was going with some of his friends in an RV down to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, and he wanted me to go with them, and it wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not a drinker, you know, and
right.
Even though I've always wanted to go see, you know, New Orleans and Mardi Gras, you know what I mean? That was kind of like
because
one of my.
It's a big.
Yeah, it's like
you know?
it's a big. Yeah, it's like
it's
I could
exciting.
say. Yeah, exactly. Right. And I kind of wanted to go, but I just got a bad feeling about it, and I don't know. I told him yes, and I said no, and then believe it or not, I kind of heard a voice telling me that, and I equate this voice with the devil or a demon, and the voice kind of said that he was going to kill my friend. No, I guess I kind of heard a voice in my head that if I didn't go with my friend Donnie, he wouldn't come back alive. That's it. That was the first voice I heard in my head.
That's some creepy stuff.
Yeah, it is. Okay. And that really concerned me, you know. And I told Donnie, I said, I don't think you should go. And he goes, no, I'm going, blah, blah, blah. And so then he was, the weird thing was, he was begging me.
How do you know that voice didn't tell him, hey, if you don't go, I'm going to kill your friend?
Oh, no, he didn't hear any, he didn't hear any, I don't know if he heard anything like that. But here's the weird thing. I kept like hedging, going, oh, I'll go, then I'm not going to go, then I'm going to go, then I'm not going to go. And then I heard another voice in my head, or, you know, basically when I told Donnie I was going to go, the voice told me he was going to kill me too. And then I said out loud, no, you're not going to kill me. You're not going to kill my friend. And so I went. You know, I went to Donnie's house where there was a big, beautiful RV. His friend, this girl that he was going, it wasn't his girlfriend. It was his girlfriend's friend. I guess her parents owned like a really nice RV, you know. It was big too, right? And so
who would miss a trip like that, right?
Yeah, right. So, you know, he was living in Orlando, and we went to Orlando, got in the RV, and we start going to New Orleans. And before his girlfriend sits in the corner, right? Now listen to this. I knew this was a bad sign, right? as we're getting ready to pull out of the driveway in the RV, his girlfriend sits in the corner. There's like a chair behind where the front seats are.
Right.
And there was a little TV in the corner above her head. As we pull out, the TV falls and falls right on her head.
Ouch.
And if it didn't fall at a 45, that thing would have fell probably right on her head and went the tube, because it was a tube TV. This is, you're talking, this has got to be 10 years ago now, right?
Oh, those things probably weighed about 30 pounds at least.
Yeah, exactly. That thing fell right on her head, and if it didn't fall at a 45, it probably would have, broke the glass, the tube,
Right.
and crowned her real good, but it didn't. So anyway, we go there, and we find the parking space. This is the next day now, because it took us a couple hours to get there. So when we get there, we're walking. It's at night, going towards Bourbon Street, and Donnie sees a bunch of other kids, and they're saying hello to him. And I go, "Oh wow, Donnie's he knows people here. It's crazy, from UCF." And as we keep walking, some 18, 19-year-old kid who was drunk with no shirt on runs up to Donnie and embraces him. And I thought it was another friend of Donnie's, because I was on the one side. Well, I didn't see this kid had a knife to
Wow.
Donnie's ribs. Yeah. And Donnie played it real cool. And I guess the kid was like gay or something, and sees Donnie's a good-looking young guy, and was trying to tell Donnie to come with them. For what? I don't know. So I'm like, Donnie, let's go. And then Donnie's other friend, Emil, was on the other side, and I guess he saw the knife and was like, Donnie, he's saying to Donnie, like, get this guy away from you, like, push him off you. So the kid came, thank God nothing happened. The kid came through and he just ran off. And Donnie didn't tell me that the kid had a knife till the next day. So I didn't even know what happened, and he just brushed it off like it was nothing. But anyway, so that night.
Is he from around there, or?
No, he's from Inglewood. Maybe I shouldn't say. He's from Inglewood Beach, Florida. My friend Donnie.
But I mean,
And
is he been used to being in rough neighborhoods where stuff like that happens a lot?
He's an athletic guy, young guy. He's been around. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. He's probably used to rough things like that.
Yeah, I wasn't.
But now, it's funny because I remember it might have been on G Plus a long time ago, talking to somebody whose son's name was Donnie.
Right.
And was talking about somebody pulling a knife on him at the Mardi Gras.
Really?
Yeah, and this was a while ago that I talked to this person, and I can't even remember now who it was, but it was their son they were talking about.
Well, Donnie's dad, he lives down in what's it called? It's down South Florida. Junta, Florida. Punta Gorda. So if it's that same guy, that's Donnie's father.
I can't remember.
Donnie's dad lives in Punta Gorda, Florida, okay? That's the one where the hurricane hit real bad.
I do remember them talking about their son being at the Mardi Gras and somebody pulling a knife on them.
Yeah.
And their name was Donnie. So, I mean, I just thought that was what's that word? Ironic.
Right.
But anyway, back to the story.
But anyway, so there was a couple other little incidences, like when Donnie got drunk, and as we're coming back that night, he started going 2 streets. He started walking, and his girlfriend was following him, and he started going because going back up Bourbon Street was too crowded. So I guess he got the bright idea to cut down a street or two, a block, which was a big mistake because they told us beforehand that if you go 2 blocks past Bourbon Street, you'll get your throat slit because it's just a real bad neighborhood.
Right.
So he starts walking drunk, and I'm screaming at him, Donnie, come back, and he finally did. Thank God he didn't go that way. But yeah, real crazy stuff. I lost my wallet that night. Just a lot of crazy stuff. But thank God no one got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a blessing right there.
Yeah.
Now,
I ended up getting sciatica, which I never had before.
right.
You know, which every time you let's say you foil shall we say the devil's work, you come away with an injury. I've noticed.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, shall I use this example? Final Destination.
Yeah, I guess.
Where, they didn't die when they were supposed to, so
Yeah.
all this crazy crap started happening later on.
Right.
So, maybe he was meant to go that way and he was meant to die and he didn't, and so crazy shit started happening. I mean, sorry about that language, you guys,
Donnie,
but
no, I mean,
yeah,
Roger,
apologize for that.
No cursing, no cursing.
Anyway,
And that's the short version. Maybe I'll tell a longer version. Maybe I should get Donnie, because I still talk to him to this day, and if he remembers it, because he was just drunk off his butt, and maybe I could get him on and we could kind of tell that story. And then what happened was, the next day, they went again, but I stayed in the RV to watch the RV because we parked right in downtown New Orleans. We're facing 110, the on-ramp, okay? Because as soon as they went out and came back that night, I said, I'm getting as soon as the last person, there was six of us, as soon as the fifth person came on in the RV late, I got in the driver's seat and took off, and went home because I just wanted to get home. And that was like 5 a.m. And what happened was, my mother, this is the odd thing, I wanted to go home so bad. My mother swears that like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock that morning, she claims I came in the house with my bags. When I didn't. Because when she says I came in the house, I was probably in like Mississippi or Alabama. And she was telling all my friends that I was home. You see what I'm saying?
right.
She claims that I came in the house that morning.
Well,
And,
maybe she saw you in her own way.
yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
if
Because
she
I
was
didn't
wor-
get
if she
to
was really
Orlando.
worried about you, you know what I'm saying, and stressing out over it, maybe that was her way of relieving her tension, was to see you.
All I know is she told all my friends that I was back in town, and I didn't get back in town. I didn't get to Orlando to Donnie's house till about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. By the time I got home and went to my office or came home, my mother said, "Where were you?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm just getting home." And then I went to my office and there was like 50 messages from contractors and builders, because my mom told them I was in town, but I wasn't, so.
Well, Dita's got a good point in the chat there. She said could be, too, that because of her belief, you did make it home safe.
Well, this was, and that comes into, you hear about doppelgangers.
Yes.
Yeah, where they say that if you have to do two things, but you can only do one at a time, that you will create a doppelganger.
Well, they say everybody has one, which is scary.
I have a question.
Sure.
Mike, what did you feel? Did you feel anything weird on the way home? Was there any time where you thought maybe you lost some minutes or whatever?
I didn't feel, no, but I'll tell you, it was almost like I was concentrating in my mind that I wanted to get home safely. I just like I had home on the mind. Like I just wanted to get.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Something.
The whole time I was driving, and I was like driving through Mississippi and Alabama. Which, by the way, if you drive through Mississippi and Alabama on I-10, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing.
Maybe she did see you because maybe you wanted to be home so bad you projected yourself there.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Wow. Now that's wild.
That's a first for me. So.
Well, now you know you can do it.
Yeah.
Well, you would have had to have for her to seen you there at that time. I mean, I
Right. In
can't.
other words, that's what I'm saying. In other words, I was in my mind, I was thinking, I want to go home. I want to be home. And all I had on my thoughts were, and it was severe, like, I want to go home and,
Right.
just get away, put New Orleans behind me, because other weird stuff happened. And I just wanted to be home where I felt safe. So
Yeah,
maybe
and so
that was
you
it.
projected it when in your subconscious, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
You were
what
there.
other weird things happened?
Well, in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, remember I told you I lost my wallet, and I went to New Orleans. Just is not it's not a friendly town. I mean, the cops are not friendly at all. It's a very it's not a very hospitable town. Put it
That's
that
kind
way.
of weird too, seeing as how that's like a tourist place.
I know. You would think that it would be
Really friendly and
really friendly.
outgoing.
But
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't say that because where we parked that day, there was like an office building, a big office building, and I knocked on the door, and a female security guard answered, and I told her my situation, if I could use the phone, and she said no one's allowed in the building. She closed it, and then I was like, oh boy. And then I walked all the way to the Lucerne Hotel and asked them if I could use their phone. They said no. Well, basically, get out of here, And then I went back to the RV, and I lost my wallet. It had my credit cards, my driver's license, everything. And thank God I had $300 in cash, that I had separated from my wallet. And that's a weird feeling to be somewhere far away from home and have no ID, no credit cards. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And here I am thinking, someone has my wallet with my credit cards and they're buying a car with my Amex card. So, but
Right.
then
You
what
get a
happened
bill
was,
for like $30,000
yeah, right.
where somebody bought a Cadillac.
Yeah, and this is before cell phones, right? This is like kind of before the ubiquitousness of cell phones. So none of us had cell phones,
I remember the first cell phones because I used to have one. It was the car
Right.
phone, actually, the great big bulky.
Right. And it's kind of funny watching a Seinfeld episode because this is before really if you watch Seinfeld, it's kind of before the internet and before cell phones,
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of about that time. And so when I came back from the Lucerne Hotel, I'm sitting in the RV feeling dejected and just really pissed off, going, why am I here? I shouldn't even be here. I didn't want to even be here in the first place. Another security guard comes out of the building and she's talking to everybody outside, my friends. And then she's like, oh, where are you guys from? And they go, oh, we're Orlando, we're students, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting in there sulking. And then, so they're chit-chatting, oh, you here for New Orleans? You here for the Mardi Gras? Yeah. And then all of a sudden I hear her say, so, she goes, who needs to use the phone? And man, I perked right up and I go, me. I'm like, me, I lost my wallet, She goes, all right. So this lady had mercy on me. She took me in the building and she actually got me a chair. And she got the house phone and she actually got me a phone book. And I was able to look up all the 800 numbers of, Visa and MasterCard and Amex, so I called I called them all and they thank God, they canceled my credit cards and none of them were used. So that was a big relief,
By you or anybody else, huh?
Yeah. So that my mind was just, put at ease because that lady, had mercy. You know what I mean? So thank God for her.
Right. So you didn't actually get to see any of the haunted places or anything like that?
No. It was, when you're with friends who drink and, I think Donnie wanted me to be not only the designated driver, but I also, coming to New Orleans, leaving Orlando, we stopped at a liquor store and got a keg with my ID. See, because I'm 25,
Right.
I got the kegs. So You know, so here, and they're making me a fugitive by buying them a big keg. You know.
And isn't that just ironic too that you don't drink, so you was actually
Yeah, I'm
buying
really
them a
yeah.
keg and
Right. Yeah, I'm not really a drinker, so yeah. So that was it.
that's almost kind of like I'm a poor little guy, nobody likes me. Hey, I'll buy you a keg. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But anyway, so you didn't get to see none of them, but you did have experiences though.
Well, you know,
I mean, outside of the projection thing.
in New Orleans, well, like I said, just that voice that was telling me it was going to kill my friend and kill me, and you know, I mean that's enough for me, you know. I don't know, you know.
Yeah,
But
CJ said you
but the
think
thing
they would do
the
something like putting a
the other
keychain
thing
on
about
that.
Donnie is every time I started like going back in my head, and every time I was with him, something life threatening, you know, we almost died because he's kind of a crazy guy, you know. We used to be, you
Right.
know.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by life threatening?
Okay.
Jeopardy's.
Well, no. Okay. Okay. Well, another time we were in a boat. His friend Pat, his friend Pat, his father's a anesthesiologist, so he had a really nice boat. Okay, his father had a boat with twin engines on the back, and this thing had to be a good about 25 feet long. You know those boats, those speed boats
Like a
that
yacht.
you could. No,
Yeah,
not a yacht, but it had twin. It was fast. It had two motors in the back. Okay,
like
and
twin
I'd say it was
turbos.
yeah, twin turbos. I'd say it was about a good 7 or 8 feet wide and about 23 feet long. It was a 23-foot long boat, you know, and it was really fast. And it's me, Donnie, Pat, and some friend from college. And of course, you know, I'm 25 years old. They stop and get an enormous thing, a case of beer, not a six pack, but a whole big case, right? And I've never really been on a boat. I don't know, you know, but they're like, okay, you got a driver's license. You're going to drive this boat, right? So they're drinking. And Pat, whose father owns the boat, he goes, all right, it's easy. He goes, you're driving. So here I am driving. This is down in Inglewood, you know, we're in the harbor and we're going full throttle. And here comes another boat with its wake. Now I don't know anything about boats. I've never driven a boat, right? So so we're going full speed, and Pat doesn't bother to tell me, you know, when you see another boat, and here you see its wake, to you know, shut the engine or, you know, dial back.
Right.
So because he's drunk, right? He's completely he's ossified. He's out of his mind. So I'm standing up, driving this boat, you know, on this little pedestal thing, and here here comes another boat, and we hit the first wake, and I think I went up maybe 2 feet in the air, and then come back down. But here comes the second wake, and I must have went up like 4 or 5 feet in the air. All of us, we all must have went up, literally like 4 or 5 feet up in the air, and I came crashing down, slamming on the deck. All of us did, right? And the boat was like going out of control, you know. And I'm like, so thank God the throttle dialed back, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, Pat, what are you doing? You know, why didn't you tell me to slow down? He saw the boat, but I wasn't thinking, you know, he was drunk, you know. That was another crazy time.
So basically, what you're saying is every time you got together with Donnie, you
Every time I got together with Donnie, and there's other things that happen I really don't want to get into, but yeah.
okay.
It was always yeah. One time I had to call an ambulance for myself. Put it that way. Let's just leave it at that.
That's pretty bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll cut it right there.
Yeah. And Dita, my back's fine. Yeah, my back's okay. I landed on my side, I went up and I landed so hard. I hit the deck so hard. You know, I was wearing shorts, right? But you know the elastic around my underwear? I was wearing like Fruit of the Looms at the time. The elastic, what do you call that band or
The stretchy band,
that
whatever.
stretchy part of your underwear?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
like ripped. It tore from the cotton.
That's
That's
bad.
how hard that's how
That's
hard I
bad.
hit the deck.
You
Yeah.
didn't break anything?
No. Surprisingly, I'm pretty well built, surprisingly. But I hurt my shoulder, you know, and Donnie was lucky and that kid was lucky because they were at the back of the boat. And they're lucky they didn't like fly out the back and get hit by the blades.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering when you said everybody flew 4 foot up in the air. You know, when
Yeah.
the boat's moving
Yeah.
wide open, right?
Right, and because they were standing up, and they had brought scuba gear, and they were going to go scuba diving, and Donnie had a spear gun, or no, Pat had a spear gun, and as
Oh,
soon as I
good
saw
Lord,
that spear
that's
gun,
what
I'm
you
like,
need, a drunk with a
oh
spear
my God,
gun.
yeah, right, yeah.
But anyway, what I was thinking is that if they had went 4 foot in the air and the boat is moving full throttle, then
Right.
it's going to move a good 5 or 6 feet before they come down.
Well, I think what happened was it was weird, like it was because the boat went up. Remember? In other words, we went up in the air and the boat did too, and then the boat came down and we came down with the boat.
Oh, okay. So
And out of the back of my eye, I remember Donnie just like boom, the both of Donnie and that other kid just went boom back down. You know, we all hit the deck hard. So
anyway,
next time, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to pontoon boats.
yeah, I hear you.
That's my speed.
Well, the
Okay.
biggest boat I've ever been out in was a little John boat, 14 footer.
Oh, CJ, you have a question?
Yeah. Okay, so you don't think anything weird happened on this trip back home, and you didn't feel anything, but your mother swears that she saw you, right?
What? Yeah, I mean, I didn't. As far as like the trip going there, or you know, well, on the way back, this is another. It was just look, that trip to New Orleans, going and there and then back, was all a disaster as far as I'm concerned. Because what happened was, on the way back, once we hit the Panhandle of Florida, we stopped this gas station, okay, and the girl who owned the RV, who's the girl who her parents owned the RV, her license was revoked.
Ooh.
Okay, so she never drove. Okay, we knew her license was revoked, but what happened was we parked the RV to get gas. You know, we're at the gas station, and for whatever reason, she decides, you know, once we gas up and we go in the gas station, get whatever, food we wanted, snacks, we come out, and she decided for whatever bizarre reason to get in the driver's seat and pull out, right? Well, the back of the RV, you know that there's like the back bumper and it curves around.
Right.
Yeah.
It hit the, what do you call the bollard, or the what do you call that thing? What's that thing that guards the pumps?
It's like a bumper or.
Yeah, it's a bollard or something. You know, it's made out of concrete. It's yellow.
Yeah.
It hit that, and then as she pulled out, because she got in, I was outside. It tore off the bumper. It tore off like there's like that outside
pylon, yeah.
Yeah, it ripped the gas station pump. It actually tore the cowling off the gas station pump. And it grabbed the hose, pulled the hose out. Thank God the thing wasn't on. And it ripped up the back of the RV, the wall, okay, where you could see the CDX board under the paneling. So she completely damaged her parents' RV. Okay, which it was a really nice high-end RV. And now the gas station attendant is coming out wanting reparations. So we had to wait for a state trooper, right? A state trooper comes, takes all our information. And thank God he didn't arrest her, because, now we're saying I'm saying to Donnie, hey, say it was you driving, And he's like,
Right.
no way, I'm not saying it was me. And I'm like, listen, if somebody, I said, I'm not taking the blame for this. I've taken too many. I said, one of you guys is going to have to say it was you, because otherwise they might arrest her.
Right.
She doesn't have a driver's license. You know what I'm saying?
If I could get you to hold that thought for a minute.
Okay.
We are live on WCJV Digital Broadcasting out of Youngstown, New York. This is the Half Past Dead Paranormal Radio Show with your hosts Roger Belt and CJ John Pierre, and our guest tonight is Michael Gray from the show Parlay. And we're going to carry on with the exciting story here of bumpers being torn off and all kind of stuff like that. Carry on, sir.
Oh, okay. So anyway, nobody wants to, none of her friends now, they're all pretty much saying, if she gets arrested, they're not saying it, but that's basically what they're saying, right? Because no one wants to say they were driving. So thank God the state trooper comes, he takes the information, and, basically he just gave her a ticket. Okay, fine, But now what's happening is he's wrapping up his thing. Now the store owner, or I don't know who this guy was, he's wanting like $300 from us cash. Right? And he's telling us we can't leave. All right? So I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, you can't do that. I said, you have insurance, and she had insurance papers on the RV, so your insurance company will contact her insurance company, and that let them, they'll deal with it. So he goes, no, you can't leave. You can't leave. So I'm like, everybody. So now I'm like, I said, everybody get in the RV. And I say to the state trooper who's getting all his paperwork together, and he's walking to his car. I'm like, officer, I said, this guy's telling us we can't leave. I said, can we leave? He goes, you're free to go. And I said, everybody in the RV. Got in the RV. So got the hell out of there,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. I want to get into, since we're into the second half hour here, everybody knows about Bigfoot.
Right.
Okay? So what I want to basically get your opinion on, you hear people talk about Bigfoot being involved with aliens, and then some people say, well, no, Bigfoot's not involved with aliens. Bigfoot's a dimensional creature that goes back and forth. What do you really think Bigfoot is? And is it controlled by the government? Because I've heard that too.
Look, I don't know. I mean, I do believe that there are Sasquatches or Bigfoot or Yeti, because even the Native Americans have, not only Native Americans, but cultures all over the world for hundreds, if not thousands of years have talked about these creatures. So, and people report seeing them.
Well, every Native American culture,
not just Native American, but, they're even in Mongolia and China, and
right. But I'm saying here in this country, every Native American culture or tribe had some kind of form of Bigfoot.
Yeah, Yeti, Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Yeah, different names, but same thing.
Right. And they have different looks. Yeah, sure. I mean, probably some kind of primate creature, or maybe one of the first forms of man. Who knows? Maybe they're Neanderthal man left over. I don't know.
That's true.
I mean,
there's a story that it's a offsprout of Gigantopithecus, so
right.
And we do know that they existed. So
yeah, maybe they go from Alaska. And they migrate in the winter down
they supposedly cross the Bering Straits. They say that from up that way somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I've got to ask here. Now, Dr. Melba Ketchum is all over the internet, has 5 strains of genetic material that they're claiming are not human, that have been taken from the sites where these things have been seen.
Yes, I watched one of her videos.
Right, and what I need to ask Mike is this woman is biologist or something like that, and she is doing these tests independently. She's done 10 different laboratories. The results are all the same. Now, what I want to know is, do you think that the government is quelling her, stopping her from giving the truth out? Or, like, what do they call it? Using it, disinformation on her to stop her from saying, yes, this is true, because perhaps this is a government program that they've done with these things, these interdimensional things?
I don't look. I don't. It could be all of the above. Maybe the government has caught some, and is using them in experiments. I don't know. I mean, who really knows? I mean, they could be. Everyone says that. Some people say that the UFOs let them out, that they're pets, kind of.
Yeah. Or they
they're
let
let
them
out,
here to do,
and then they pick them up on
whatever.
Yeah, right. They let them out for a certain time to get fresh air and poop or whatever, and to get their exercise, and then
let them out to poop.
Yeah.
All right, I got you on the leash. Now I'm gonna let you run through the forest. You
And
go
so
ahead and take a crap and eat some berries and nuts and come on back.
Yeah, some people say it's just like in Land of the Lost, where they can go into a cave.
Yeah.
And somehow they can go into another dimension through a cave.
Right.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, yeah, what they call it like a portal or something.
Okay, Dita says, and this is really good. Dita says, or genetically altering people or primates for the military.
I wouldn't put it past them.
That's possible too, because that the only thing that saved, they say, the chimpanzee from being slave labor was they don't have an opposable thumb, and they couldn't pick cotton. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So they found somebody that could.
Yeah, wow, unfortunately. Yeah.
That was a good thought, though. I mean, genetically altering.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If you could and what about genetically? I mean, that's all like in Lord of the Rings. The orcs.
Yeah, and speaking of genetically altering and all that stuff, there's like tons of Bigfoot hunters out there. If somebody actually caught one, do you think it would ever actually make it to the public before the military stepped in and took it?
It's funny. Joe DeToma talks about how one time somebody disappeared. This is like in New York, like in the Adirondacks, I believe. And Joe DeToma said this when we were talking on the Opera Report. I don't know if you remember hearing that, CJ. But Joe DeToma said that. Okay, he said that somebody disappeared, a child or whatever, or I can't remember what the circumstance. But he was in the military at the time, I think in the Army or National Guard, and they deployed them and told them to be careful that there was a creature, and described what they could only describe as a Bigfoot, and that this thing was hostile. It was very fast moving, and to kill it if they saw it, that they had permission to kill it. So take what you will on that. As far as people disappearing in state parks and national parks, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's interdimensional or fallen angels or Nephilim or reptilians or greys.
But then on the same thought, I wouldn't put it past our government to have military out there in the daggum woods somewhere snatching people, and they're doing don't tell them what with them somewhere.
Well, you got to ask yourself. I mean, they could just kidnap people right off the street, like homeless people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, if they really wanted to, I mean, there's a lot of people that they could just swipe off the street and no one would know, especially the homeless people.
Well,
hitchhikers, stuff like that.
They're not going to risk any possibility of being seen doing it. And even at 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody can still see them in a location like that. But if they're out in the daggum woods, and of course they're camouflaged, right? Know, they're nearby a hiking trail or something like that. Here comes Johnny, Sue, and little Timmy.
Right.
How hard would it be to snatch them right off the trail there?
It's kind of like all those mutilations, those cattle mutilations, I should say.
Yeah, cattle
Where,
mutilation.
is it a UFO or is it a helicopter? And they're just testing like laser equipment that they have.
Right.
You don't know.
I wouldn't put anything past the government. I really wouldn't.
So.
But anyway,
I wish I had an answer. I wish I had an answer for you. I know.
So we're saying that aliens let him out. He took a crap, ate some nuts and berries, and they called him back in and flew off to
a lot of
people.
A lot of people who see Bigfoot or Yeti or whatever claim that there's always like UFOs in the area. So whether that's military watching them or real aliens, I don't know.
Okay, now that since we brought up aliens, that was my next question I was going to ask you about anyway, so it all fits. What is your take on the aliens? Are they real, bogus? What do you think?
Okay, well, it's because when you read a lot of different things, like is it the Anunnaki?
Right.
Okay? Is it fallen angels? Is it Nephilim? Or are there real beings out there in other stars and planets far away that are visiting us? Or, the only funny thing is, like, with all these supposed alien intervention, how come nothing's getting better? And why don't they announce that they're here? Why don't they just come on TV and say there's aliens? You know what I mean? Can't they interrupt the TV services and the radio?
Yeah, they could.
And say we're here. We're here to help you. So who knows? I tend to think that, here's my opinion now. Whether you want to call them Nephilim or fallen angels or, it's all a malevolent force,
Right. Like we said earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to get hung up on, is it this or that? It's just like, was 9/11 an inside job? And you have Dr. Judy Wood fighting with Jim Fetzer over, was it thermite or was it space-based, energy weapon? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, well, what? I mean, okay, fine. Maybe both. Maybe it's both. Maybe both thermite paint or thermite explosives and, what finished it off was a space-based energy-directed weapon. You know what I mean?
Well, and I also think it would depend on what kind of arrangement the military would have with the alien beings, whether or not they would come out and say, yeah, they're here.
Remember one thing, though, that Werner von Braun said to his secretary, and I think her name was Carol. I can't think of her last name. Did you ever see that?
I know who you're talking about.
Okay, where he told her, he said, "Remember, Carol, the excuse they're gonna use to weaponize space at first." He said the first lie they're gonna tell you is the Cold War, that they have to build all these nuclear bombs,
right,
and weaponize space is because of the Cold War, the Russians, the Soviet Union. Okay, the Soviet Union, they're the bad guy, and he said that it's a lie. So out of the Cold War, we got Star Wars, Ronald Reagan's Star Wars, okay? And then he said the next lie they're gonna pull, and it's a lie, is asteroids, incoming asteroids, and we have to weaponize space because of asteroids.
But they were actually designed to fight the aliens.
Right, and then, and then the next thing he said, the last card they're gonna play is an alien invasion. But he told her, he said, it's all a lie. And he overemphasized that it's a lie. He said, don't believe it, it's a lie. And so when you talk about an alien invasion or a fake alien invasion or staged alien invasion, you're looking at Project Bluebeam, which has to do with holograms. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they're spraying chemtrails to put particles in the atmosphere to make the holograms look more real, so they reflect better. You know?
Possibly.
And also, Project Bluebeam isn't just about an alien invasion. It's also about seeing, like in the Middle East, the Arabs or Muslims would see Allah or Muhammad.
Right.
In Europe, Christians would see Jesus or Mary. In China, maybe they'd see Buddha or Confucius. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And people that aren't scientific, people that don't have religion, they'd see aliens, or you know what I mean. They've got something for everybody to fool us.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but thank God that information's out. So I wonder how they're gonna, what are they gonna do? Maybe that scenario they can't play it anymore. Who knows? Maybe they'll just release a bioweapon and kill us all.
And they may do that. That's not even funny.
Yeah.
So then, having said that, my next question was about what you thought about abductions. So if you're saying that the alien thing is not real, then abductions by aliens would not be real, but abductions by the military is very possible.
Well, okay. Did you ever see that movie, The Golden Child, with Eddie Murphy?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Eddie Murphy has a dream, right? Did you ever see the dream and he's talking to that devil or that demon?
Yeah.
And the dream is very real. And I just wonder if a lot of the abduction scenarios, a lot of the abduction things are actually in an etheric dream state.
I told that kid to stay away from them peyote buttons.
The peyote buttons?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean, because I'll tell you something, like, and I'm trying to get her to tell her story. My cousin Mary Ellen.
Right.
I won't get into it. I grew up with her, and she told the story of her closet in her bedroom that she shared with my cousin Karen and Donna. It was all three girls in one room. She said one time she opened the closet door, and instead of seeing clothes and their closet was packed. It was this little tiny closet. It wasn't a walk-in. It was just a regular, 2 foot deep by, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 foot. Yeah, 2 by 4, 2 by 5, and it had just a single door. It had a wood door that you opened up, a little wood door. And she said she opened it up one day, and it was like there was she described it as a gray void. Okay, and she could see, like, she could hear people in there. She described it like Narnia,
Right.
And she was like, hello? And it freaked her out so bad, she closed the door. And, like a bureau, what do you call on that wall was a bureau, for drawers and, with the mirror.
Right.
She got so freaked out. She got so freaked out. She went on the other side of that bureau and physically pushed the bureau so that to move it, in front
of the door.
In front of the door, yeah. Yeah. And what's weird is that closet on the opposite side of that closet was my cousin Bobby's room, and his closet was the next. So their wall between their rooms was like 2 feet, let's say 2 feet, because then his closet. And a lot of times I would, when I would go to my cousin's house in the daytime on the weekends when I was a kid, I never took a nap, but whenever I would go there, it would be like a beautiful day, and something would, like I would get tired all of a sudden, and something was almost like compelling me to go in that room and lay down on his bed. And then I would wake up like grimy, sweaty. I would be, after a nap, I would be exhausted, and I would wake up thinking because now it was nighttime, I would wake up thinking I had slept that whole night, the whole day, and it was the next nighttime. And I would wake up and say to my mom, why didn't you wake me up? Why did you let me sleep till the next day? And of course they'd all be laughing at me. I was only really asleep for a couple hours, But I wonder if something happened in that room. You know what I mean?
Well, like a time loss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had not only time loss, but why after a nap would I be exhausted?
Right.
And sweaty and grimy? It didn't make any sense.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
All right. How do you feel about the Thomas Walton case?
Good question.
From the movie Fire
Yeah.
in the Sky. Now, there was 3 loggers. They all witnessed it.
Right.
They all took polygraphs. They all passed the polygraphs.
That did happen, but not the way the movie. His experience was not the way the movie is. He was taken aboard the UFO, and he saw people, human beings, in spacesuits, and they asked him if he was okay, and then they put him back. But he didn't have an experience of being of seeing dead people in the UFO or having Greys operate on him.
Or being deposited naked on the street.
But the witnesses saw him beamed up into the UFO.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
why possibly?
I tell you, there's a. Hang on a second, because Cindy, are you here?
Yeah.
Why don't you chime on in and give your piece on the interview you had with Thomas Walton?
Well, it wasn't. It's Travis Walton, and
Walton.
yeah. And I actually interviewed Steve Pierce, one of the loggers that witnessed what went on, and he wasn't actually lifted up off the ground and taken into the spaceship in front of these loggers. What had happened was there was a beam of light came and hit him and knocked him 15 or 20 feet further back and lifted him up and threw him on the ground. And it scared the loggers so bad that they just drove off and left.
Right.
And then when they came back, they turned around and came back to find him. He was completely, there was nothing. And they looked for 5 days, and there was nothing. And then he ended up at a gas station, and they recovered him that way. But he did have slits in his eyes, on the edges of his eyes, and there were marks where things had been pushed into him. But he still denies that he was ever probed by these things, which is really curious because he had the marks to prove it.
But what he was saying was he didn't have a negative. I can't talk. He didn't have a negative experience like they portray in the movie.
No, he did not.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of wonder if a lot of these creatures are jinn. I really wonder if they're shapeshifters. Like they can kind of look like mantoids or reptilians or greys or even humans. You know what I mean? I mean, you just never know.
Okay, well, first off, explain Jinn to those that wouldn't, they quite possibly don't know. Explain what that is, Mike.
Okay, in the creation account, you could say God created the angels. It says God created the angels out of light, the jinn out of smokeless fire, and man out of the dust of the earth. So, jinn would be one of the creations, and they can they refused to bow to man, and they rebelled supposedly, and they are here that they want dominion over the earth, and they're here to kind of screw over humans.
So they are the fallen angels, so to speak.
Possibly. Again, it's like, well, are they the Nephilim? Are they the Watchers? Are they the fallen angels? I really don't know. You don't know what, it's like, well, what do you believe? Do you know what I'm saying? Is the story of the Anunnaki, is that true?
Right.
Is the Bible true, or has it been edited? What's real? You know what I mean? You just don't know.
You know yourself that the Bible's been written and rewritten and rewritten.
Oh yeah, written and rewritten and redacted and censored.
Stuff took out of it, stuff put into it.
Right.
So you don't really know,
Right.
Well, don't forget also the original version burned in the great fire of the Library of Alexandria.
Right. I'm sure that all the important scrolls or texts were taken out of there.
Well, and also it was said that the Catholic Church decided which ones were going to go in and which ones were going to be left out.
Well, and what's funny is, in those catacombs in there, They have scanners now. They could scan all that stuff in and release it. Why don't they? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how all the Dead Sea Scrolls stuff got out, because two professors sat on the Dead Sea Scrolls for years, and they said, we're the only ones who could look at this. And thank God they had scanned all that in, and all the scans got out. All the PDFs or the scanning of it got out. And people that got on the internet started, deciphering them. And the cat was, you know what I mean?
Well, and there was also supposed to have been like numerous books that were left out of the
Right.
version that went to the public.
How would you guys feel about this statement that the Ark of the Covenant was an alien communications device?
I've heard that one too.
Me too.
Awesome.
And is it possible? Yes, it's possible.
What do you think, Mike?
I think when you read about Jehovah, it sounds to me like he's an archon, or he's he's not a very nice person. I think these beings, these entities, whether they're aliens or shape-shifting creatures or fallen angels, I think that they want to portray themselves as God. They believe themselves to be God, and they want to fool humans into worshiping them and calling themselves God.
Well, and you can use
and
that same.
If God were to tell me to kill somebody, I would tell him, go kill somebody yourself. I'm not going to do your dirty work.
If you go back to the Mayan, Aztec, Incas, and all that, their gods always came from the sky.
Right, and they always want human sacrifice.
Yes.
Always bloodshedding. Well, you know what? Go, leave me alone.
Oh man, you can get into so much depth with all that.
Right.
You really can.
You got it kind of makes you wonder about abortions, and there's been something like 53 million abortions since Roe v. Wade, right? Something like that. 53 million abortions since 1973. And oh, by the way, that just so happens to be the amount of immigrants that they've let into this country from countries.
That's just amazing.
From countries that aren't exactly friendly to this.
Exactly.
One.
Yes.
Okay.
And they probably do, Big Bird.
Yeah,
Well,
Big Bird in the chat said that they sell aborted fetuses. Whoa, that's heavy.
Well, you look at we're kind of going off of the paranormal here, but
Right.
I'll just say this. If you look at a Pepsi can upside down in the mirror, right? Pepsi becomes is dead. ISDED is dead. And the symbol for Pepsi when I was growing up, that red and blue symbol, or whatever that, next is the next generation. They'd say Pepsi's the next generation.
Right.
So they're saying the next generation is dead.
That's weird.
No, it's not weird. They know what they're doing.
No, I mean, that's weird. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's their sick little joke.
Okay.
And just like Coca-Cola says no Mecca, no Coca-Cola, with that frilly, the original white, Coca-Cola and the frilly,
yeah.
And the, looks really beautiful. That's actually Arabic.
Really?
That's Arabic writing, yeah. If you go look, Coca-Cola, how it's all frilly, with the curly Q's, that's not C-O-K. It looks like C-O-K-E in English, but the C-O-K-E in Coca-Cola is actually Arabic. It's actually Arabic lettering, and it says no Mecca, no something.
We're gonna take a little break. We're live on WCJV Digital Broadcasting out of Youngstown, New York. This is Half Past Dead Paranormal Radio. I'm your host, Roger Bell, along with CJ Cindy John Pierre, and our guest is Michael Gray. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Don't nobody go away.
You are listening to WCJV Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, New York.
Okay, we're back, everybody. Hope y'all had a good break, refilled your coffee cups, whatnot, tea, beer glass, whatever you're drinking. Of course, we were talking about aliens, UFOs, abductions. Are they real? Are they no? Uh, Everybody has different opinions on this. So I'm going to ask you now, Mike. Do you think the government is really hiding UFO technology?
Absolutely. I think that they got them, a lot of them, for the Nazis. That the
Well,
Nazis
yeah,
had
yeah, because
UFOs.
they were building them too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could see them too. I mean, clear as day. You know.
Well, you could take into effect they're supposed
Didn't
to have an underground place in the Antarctic somewhere that they were
Yeah.
building these
Supposedly they
UFOs
took
and stuff.
they took
or silencers or whatever.
yeah, there was a bunch of subs they couldn't account for, and supposedly they took mercury.
Some
As
of them
much
turned themselves in, and some of them disappeared.
right.
Well,
Supposedly under Antarctica, yeah, under Lake Vostok.
okay, what do you think about, I mean, just, what I'm putting through here is now MUFON is supposed to be, the big thing for keeping track of what we see in the skies and stuff like that. And just recently they got rid of their head honcho, who is from Bigelow, who does all the government contracting for aerospace and stuff like that for the government. He was in
I heard
charge.
I hear anything you send to MUFON, if let's say people find something that falls from the sky,
Go straight to the
it goes
military.
straight to MUFON and then it disappears. It's never heard from again.
And
And I
it
MUFON
was that.
yeah, MUFON has been infiltrated since maybe day 2, or if not day 1.
I think
And
you're right.
basically,
I think you're
So
right.
it's all set up basically to somebody calls in, they go out and examine the sighting or whatever,
yeah, if
look
you call
for
MUFON,
evidence,
you
and
know,
then turn around and give it all to Uncle Sam.
basically call MUFON and tell them you have something extraordinary, and I'll bet the next day you'll have Men in Black showing up at your door.
Probably, yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
and if there's actual evidence, they make it a point to show up. But as Mario, and by the way, that's Mario that called in here. Say hi, Mario.
Hey, Mario.
Hello.
Hey, Mario.
Mario had the opportunity to have to call on MUFON. Now, Mario, why don't you share that story with Mike and tell him your experience with them?
Well, share it with me too.
Well, there's a place out here. I'm an avid camper. I like to go camping and stuff. And we live by one of the big Great Lakes, Lake Ontario. And I go camping on Lake Ontario. And it's a small little town, probably population of like 500 people, called Fairhaven, New York. And I was out there with friends and family, and we're all camping that night. And like, also, I have to call myself an idiot. And Cindy knows why I'm calling myself an idiot. Because I'm also an avid photographer. Actually, photography is my first love. Computers is my second. But anyways, so we're all out camping. It's about 10 o'clock at night, and it's like pitch black. Now, the people I am with are ex-military. Both served as Marines in the Marine Corps for 6+ years. So, we had qualified observers out there on what happened. So anyways, we're all just sitting around having a good time by the fire, talking and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, a white, green orb comes over the campsite. And I turn to one of my friends and I go, are you people seeing this? And the first words out of his mouth, not mine, was, oh my God, it's a UFO. And that was my most recent encounter with an object. But this was an orb, definitely an orb. It probably was about 500 to 600 feet above us. And it just hovered over the campground.
How big was it?
Oh, well, if you were to hold like a silver dollar up, that would have been the size, because don't forget it was about 600 feet up in the air. So, if it would have been closer, I would have said that it probably would have been a little bit bigger than a semi truck. All right? But round in diameter.
Wow.
And made absolutely no sound whatsoever. Absolutely dead quiet. You could hear the cricketing and everything else. And in a campground, you're away from the city and you're away from population, and it's dead. It's pitch black. It's quiet as hell and everything, and you could not hear a sound come from it.
And this glowed green? You're saying it glowed green?
The inside was white, and the perimeter around it was green.
Oh.
It would be like drawing a circle on a piece of paper, a white piece of paper, leaving the inside of the paper white, and do it with a green circle. And, of course, it was an eerie green, like an incandescent green.
Yeah.
It flew over us and it just kept on going. It never slowed down or nothing. Like we were insignificant for whatever its purpose was. And it took out all over the water and just kept on going until it went out of sight.
Well, that makes you wonder if that's where they got the alien glow that they use in tech stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have no doubt about it that when you watch science fiction movies like the Independence Day or something like that, they have all this stupid green stuff. Or you watch the classic sci-fis like War of the Worlds and stuff like that. Absolutely, that's where they got that from.
I was wondering because that's kind of an eerie green glow, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, that's why they can't, it makes you wonder how they come about it. And the other subject that you were talking about before, I also would like to bring up when you said that, do you think the government is hiding alien technology? Well, as far as I'm concerned, absolutely on what happened in Roswell. But here's another part of technology that these people are hiding big time, and that's my hero and man, which I know a lot about, is Nikola Tesla. They are hiding so much of his freaking stuff, it's not even funny. In fact, we have stuff orbiting this planet that man invented. The particle beam ray is Nikola Tesla's invention.
They stole all his stuff. They stole his work.
Oh, absolutely. They raided the whole place.
Yeah.
And if he would have gotten to succeed in what he was trying to do, we'd be having free electricity now. We wouldn't be paying tons of money out to the freaking monopoly.
Oh, if it wasn't for Nikola Tesla, we wouldn't even be talking right now. We wouldn't even be putting on a radio show right now.
Okay, well, I want to get in here and ask you, Mario, kind of getting back to what we were talking about.
Sure.
What happened when you called MUFON to come and make a report about what you and your friends had seen?
They did absolutely nothing. They never got back to me.
And do you think it was because there was no hands-on evidence, or just because they weren't doing their job, or what do you think was going on?
Or do you think they knew what it was?
Yeah.
They probably knew what it was because actually this area, well, the area where I was camping at, has a high rate of, it's one of the highest sightings in the country. Is Lake Ontario. Something to do with the water.
That's why I spend my time out there.
Yeah, you still got to send me some pictures, too. Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Getting back into this here, we're going to go off the subject here, and I want, well, kind of off because it may fit in as well. For all the listeners out there who don't know what Psy-ops is, can you kind of break that down a little bit? Exactly what that means?
It just means psychological operations. Basically, it's the government. What they say a psyops is. It's just a psychological operation that they use, whether it's like staging something that's totally fake and hoaxed. Where they fake something, but it looks real.
Right, and see, the reason I say it could fit is because Mars is talking about a UFO sighting and they wouldn't come investigate it because they probably knew what it was and it was probably one of theirs.
Right. Like, if you believe Sandy Hook was fake, that's a psyop. That would be considered a psyop. Where it looks real, it's a staged event. That looks real,
Okay, I want to ask you, Mike, do you believe that, well, you told me, I know you've told me this, that they were going to, the government was planning on, they had a certain amount of things lined up, and the last thing was going to be that they were going to use to gain control of us was an alien invasion. Is that a psyop that you're talking about?
If it's fake, sure. If it's staged and not real, then it's a psychological operation against us, right?
Right.
To dupe,
Yeah.
to dupe the people, to dupe the world's population. Yeah, right.
Well,
And
then why is
they would use your fears against you. So if your fear is an alien invasion, then they'll use that. If your fear is, a religious icon, like to use Jesus or Mary, like if you're a Catholic and you believe in the Virgin Mary, and the Virgin Mary appears and says, go along with the New World Order,
Right.
then you're going to be like, oh, okay, go along with the New World Order.
And if they can do the hologram thing like you suggested,
Right.
like make Jesus appear in the sky,
Like fake the second coming. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Like fake
yes,
the second
exactly.
coming. All right.
and everybody's gonna fall to their knees, and like, oh yeah, you're right,
Right.
why would NASA be preparing the world in 15 to 20 years to say that they're going to be able to detect alien life on other planets?
Okay, number one, Mars, I agree with you. I don't think we're the only intelligent people in all the universe.
Well, that's a given. I mean,
But
you have to be an
are
idiot.
they really here or coming here? How you don't know for sure, because the people that do know ain't gonna say anything because they know they can be wiped off, made to disappear.
Well, another thing too is that you guys are suggesting, well, why haven't they made themselves public? Why haven't they taken over a TV channel? Well, let's take Gene Roddenberry, the writer of Star Trek, the inventor of Star Trek, and let's use what they used to use in Star Trek. How about if they have a non-interference code?
Well, that's true too.
That they're
That-
here
that-
really to observe us because we're like ants to them. When you walk outside and you
Yes.
walk by an ant colony, do you stop and, observe and see what's going on, or do you just go about your business?
Well, you got to ask yourself, well, do they really need us? I mean, why not? If they wanted this planet, they don't need water. Look, it's not water because they could go to Europa, right, and get all the water they want. I mean, Europa has more water, supposedly, even though it's ice and frozen. Europa has all the water you'd need.
Well, it doesn't matter because water is scattered throughout the entire universe, and it's
right.
most popular
Supposedly,
thing
yeah.
out there, even more than hydrogen. And anyways, hydrogen is like water anyways. It's just part of the atom.
So then they're going, oh, well, they need our hormones, or they need our blood.
I'm going to use an example here from the movie Braveheart. Whenever the king told them, well, if we can't run the Scots out, we'll breed them out.
Yeah, but the idea is if they really wanted to get rid of us, if they're like 1,000 years in technology advanced than us, or even 5,000 years more advanced than us,
what I'm saying is,
we're a sneeze to them.
But what I'm saying is, if they had hybrids, and those hybrids were involved with regular folks, that's going to create more hybrids. And they could take over the planet without ever firing a shot, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I have a hard time believing that they would even need hybrids. Why would they even need to make or create a human alien individual? I'm sure their technology would allow them to build. I'm sure they're probably, even if they're 1,000 to 5,000 years ahead of us, they're immortal anyways.
Like Dita said, they could just wait till we kill each other off.
We're more of an entertainment, if anything. Look at this stupid population. They fight amongst themselves and kill themselves instead of trying to feed everyone on the planet and take care of everybody.
The monsters are due on Maple Street.
You know, they're not the monsters. We're the monsters. And you probably don't want us to leave this damn thing to contaminate the rest of the universe.
Like the Twilight Zone episode, the monsters are due on Maple Street. All they got to do is get something started in one person's brain, and it spreads like wildfire.
Yep, absolutely.
So they didn't have to do anything; just let them turn on each other.
I understand why a lot of people don't get into this, because it's all speculation. Nobody really knows what these things are.
That's true. It's a lot of
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just.
I mean, we don't even know if they come from other planets. They could be interdimensional beings. They could come from alternate universes.
They could be somewhere deep in the earth.
There you go. I was speaking to say, or they could come right up from underground.
Or they could come from deep in the earth, or they could come from another universe that's right next to ours through interdimensional travel. I mean, come on, the thought is endless until, unless, and another thing is, who in the hell knows if the government, and not just our government, but also the United Kingdom or Russia or any of the others, have been in contact with them.
That's true. And how do you know this New World Order thing ain't created by them?
Well, and that's very true, because how do you go from a paper airplane with the Wright brothers to going to Mars and everything in less than 100 years? How do you do that?
That's what I'm saying. And it's kind of funny, though, because during all this stuff with Roswell and all that stuff, during that time, there was
what's funny? You know what I'd like to see someone do, like the UN or somebody? Why can't we fix Haiti? I want you to think about that. We can't even fix Haiti, a country like Haiti. We cannot fix one little goddamn island. And they want you want to send people to Mars? You want to send people to the moon? Fix Haiti. You fix Haiti first. I'll get behind whatever you want to do.
That's
fix
Haiti.
Haiti.
They don't want to fix
Somalia.
Haiti.
Right. I mean, come on, guys.
They don't want to fix any of that
I want to
stuff.
see the UN just do one thing right. Pick one country and fix it. But
I think Mars is going to be more of a private venture this time around.
Yeah, me too.
You're not going to have to worry about the government going to Mars or any other government going to Mars. You're going to find out that it's going to end up being a private entity that ends up to Mars.
Now, supposedly, the government already has, from what I've heard, and this is more speculation, already has people on Mars.
Correct, yes, I heard that too, about how there's a military base on Mars and the moon.
Exactly, yes. More speculation, but then again, you can't prove that it does not exist.
Well, there is powerful enough.
Because the government does everything behind our back. How do we know that they haven't already sent people to Mars? How do we know they haven't built a base on the moon?
Well, they would have to build it on the dark side of the moon, I tell you that.
Exactly,
right
and that's where it's supposed to be.
Because even
did you guys see Crow 777's lunar wave?
No.
If you go to if you go look on YouTube, Crow 7, it's CROW 777. You'll see the moon, like there's a lunar wave. The whole surface of the moon just did like a wave, and he actually thinks that the moon is a projection, that it's not real, that there's a projector in the sky projecting the moon. This is pretty interesting. He's kind of like one of these, I guess he's like one of these flat earthers that believe that the moon isn't real, it's just a projection. I always found it odd that, don't you find it odd that the moon only faces one side of the earth?
That depends. The moon does, don't forget, the moon does orbit this planet. So,
Yeah, but only one side of it faces the Earth. How is that possible?
$6 million question.
I
Yeah.
think Phobos also does not rotate, if I'm not mistaken, also. But
Well, I'll tell you, they say there's 7 billion people on the planet or more. How do they know? They say,
Right.
and
Used to back
really,
in the day when they did the
and did
census,
we really go to the moon? I mean, I think we could all. There's no way we went to the moon with the technology we had back in the day, Apollo 11, because you
yeah,
look
but
at.
you can prove that.
I know it's all, but
You can prove that we went to the moon.
with Apollo
Any
11,
hobbyist telescope can prove it. Unless they planted all the garbage up there. You can
no
look
one has
into
ever shown.
Tranquility.
Wait, Mario. No one has ever shown. No one with a telescope has ever shown the lem. The lem and the flag. There's supposedly there should be 7 lems there, right? The
Oh, you
base.
can Google. I know. If you Google it, you can say, well, the government put those pictures up on the web for people to see. But you could go
No, they're
to
saying that you can't see them. They don't even know where they are.
But they do know where they are. Let's not forget they put lasers up there. They put mirrors so they can bounce lasers off of them and stuff.
So how the hell, if you're on the Earth and you have a laser, you're gonna hit those refractors
Oh,
dead on?
absolutely. Oh,
How?
absolutely. What? We have enough computer power to do that. Come on, man.
Those refractors are like, I've seen the refractors are like a foot wide by maybe 2 feet, and they're on the lunar surface at like a little bit of a 35 angle, right? Those
They
refractors.
have satellites that orbit this planet that can pick a dime off the street.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they could pick a dime off the street from an orbiting satellite,
Well, what I'm saying
they
is no one has
definitely
ever.
can hit a refractor.
What I'm saying is not the Hubble Space Telescope or any Earth-based telescope has ever taken a picture of the lem on the moon or the flags that are there. There should
Well,
be 7
one, they
lems.
cannot point Hubble at the moon. The moon is too close for Hubble to see. It'll be nothing but a white blur.
Then why isn't it
That ain't happening.
Then why isn't it a white blur for
When you go to EOS,
Earth-based satellites?
the Europeans, science, whatever, but it's EOS, and take a look at their photographs of the moon, and they have photographs of
Mario.
Yeah.
Go look at NASA. NASA just released this thing. It's this young kid about Orion, okay? And basically, this kid is telling the viewers, okay, that they haven't worked out how to get past they said, we discovered a 3rd Van Allen radiation belt, and they're trying to work out how to get past the 3rd the radiation belt. Well, I thought we did this with the Apollo series.
Well, and also, supposedly every time we shoot a rocket up through the ozone layer, it creates a hole, letting all this stuff in. How many
Bring that
times?
back again, Mike.
How many times they actually poke a hole through there?
You can go on YouTube and look up NASA Orion. Just put in NASA Orion, okay? And there's a young blonde-haired kid. It's only like not even 10 minutes long, this little video of us going back to the moon using Orion. But basically, this kid is basically saying, we don't have the wherewithal to get back to the moon with Orion. That there are things they still have to work out. Well, I don't understand. What's to work out? We did it once, 40 years ago? 69. 40 years ago with Apollo. So why can't we just go back the same way we went? What's to work out? Supposedly we've been there 7 times or 6 times. To the moon. And now NASA's saying with Orion, there's still stuff we have to work out. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, everybody hold that
Yeah.
thought for a moment. We are live on WCJV Digital Broadcasting out of Youngstown, New York. This is Half Past Dead Paranormal Radio with your host, Roger Belt, and co-host, Cindy John Pierre, and our guest is Michael Gray from the show Parlay. Now we'll get back into the moon and Mars and Orion's belt and all this other good stuff.
All right.
Well, you guys are quiet.
Are we back on? Hold on, I'm looking up that NASA Orion thing.
Okay, because I see in the chat room we have a special guest in there. And he just left, so I imagine that pretty soon we're going to be hearing from him.
Wahaha.
Okay. One of these days, Alice. Pow, to the moon.
One of these days.
Dieter, you're a nut. I love you. Alice, you're the greatest. Hey, I love the honeymooners, by the way.
Oh, so do I. Good stuff. It's amazing how good.
Hang in there. We have a call coming in. I'm going to add him right now.
Hello, Joe. Or hello, Bo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Bo.
Hello.
Oh, Val, His Eminence is on the show.
Good evening,
Hello.
Your Eminence.
Good evening, everyone.
Long time no chat.
Yes, it's been a long time. I've been away. I've been on a spiritual sabbatical of sorts. I retreated into my backyard to connect with my inner self, and then the X-Lax wore off.
Cindy and I were discussing here recently. You remember when you had your 2 cans of Mountain Dew?
Oh yes, the 2 bottles. Yes.
Yes, and you took a drink, but you was hoping that you got the right one, and it's been a little while. You know, did you get the right one, or did you?
Yeah. Let me explain what happened. There was for the upcoming zombie apocalypse, I was saving my urine to use as currency, and so I had it sitting at my desk next to me, and unfortunately I got it mixed up with my bottle of Diet Mountain Dew, and I didn't know which one was which. It was both the same color, and the only way to tell was by taking a taste, and unfortunately I picked the wrong one. But it was pretty tasty, though.
Oh.
Okay, I would wait a minute. I would like to introduce Bo to Mike. Your Eminence, this is Michael Gray. He's new with the network. He has a show called Parlay on Thursday nights that discusses conspiracies, which I know you are so into. Michael, this is Bo, His Eminence.
Hello, Your Eminence.
Hello, Michael. It's a pleasure for you to meet me.
I'm sure it is. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. You know,
That's all right.
I wish I had a voice changer so I could do Cookie Puss. You know.
I love Cookie Puss.
You sound like Fudgy the Whale, and I could be Cookie Puss. You know what I mean?
Hey, now, not too many people know about Carvel cakes, do they?
No, I grew up in Hoboken, so I am very familiar with Fudgy the Whale and Cookie Puss.
And they were all the same shape, weren't they? It was still the same shape.
No. Fudgy the Whale looked like a whale, and Cookie Puss looked like they were 2 separate molds.
Oh, I thought Cookie Puss was kind of like Fudgy the Whale. I know he had the ice cream cone for the nose.
Yeah, right. And they they would dress up Cookie Puss like a little for St. Patrick's Day. I mean, that Carvel was a real bastard. he'd make Cookie Puss like a leprechaun. He'd make him look like a couple other, I don't know. There's a few different variations of Cookie Puss,
Yeah, he used to do his own commercials. He always sounded half dead, didn't
Yeah, I think he did die, actually. But there's a Carvel now in Florida. I mean...
he? Oh, yeah, they closed up around the area where I was at. I remember that two locations, if I recall, and they're no longer there.
I never cared for their ice cream, but
I could have talked to them about making a Beau Jerkart cake, a Beau Jerkart puss.
Right.
You didn't
that
know
would
that
that would have been tasty.
It would be amazing.
You didn't know that Beau was a famous paranormal investigator and also creates his own music. He has his own music studio, and he has a great album out that's called Me, 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 Me.
Yes. In fact,
How does that go?
I was taking a break from all of that. That was a very exciting time for me, and I want to say I just recently got a call from I won't drop any names, but somebody that there's a band that's touring around North America right now. It's going to begin a North American tour of like the stadiums, and let's just say his name is Rick Yeager, and Heath Pritchard are contacted me and wanted me to open up for their band.
Oh, how nice.
And I'm just a little too busy though. They sweetened the deal by saying that they would open for me, but I've got way too much stuff going on in my life. I'm going to you may have seen my Facebook post. I have thousands and thousands of followers. They're all me though. I'm going on an expedition that week in the far outreaches of my backyard in search of the one-legged Sasquatch, because they should be coming back.
Yeah, I think he's coming back up from Mexico about now. So
yes, yeah,
he should be headed that way anytime.
It's a long journey on one leg.
Well, they made that leg for him when he came across the border, because they everything when you cross the border you get everything handed to you free. So
yeah,
they made him that leg, but I don't think it worked out.
I understand they're making Obama legs.
Yeah.
To go with the phone.
Well, he got one, but I think it broke on him or something, and it didn't work out. So he went back to doing his one-legged thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they're
can I
having
get
a
in
hard
there?
time. Oh, sure, go ahead.
Hi, Beau.
Hello.
It's nice to hear your voice again.
Thank you. It's nice to hear you.
Well, thank you.
CJ?
Hey,
yes.
You two want to be left alone here?
No, not under any circumstances do we want to be left alone.
Are you sure?
Positively.
Well,
I am pretty popular with the ladies.
Yeah, I was fixing to say for all the ladies out there listening, Beau's pretty popular with the ladies, so.
I am.
He must have been laugh right at the bingo hall.
And he is also amazing, so.
I am amazing.
Anyway, CJ, what would be the chances of playing one of Beau's hits off of Me, 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 Me for everybody?
Well, I don't know. Beau, what do you think? I mean, you said something about maybe wanting to I don't know, honor us all with a little song tonight.
Oh, yes, I have something here that was very inspirational to me, and I'll try to sing this. I'll try to sing it live for you with no music. So So here we go. Amazing me, this title I've been crowned was simply meant to be. Powers so strong, and I astound everyone with my abilities. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I have tears in my eyes. It was so inspirational.
Where's Mario?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Mario, have you ever had a proper introduction to the to our eminence, Bo Jerkhart?
No, I have not.
Okay, Bo, I would like to introduce you to my partner and good friend of a lot of years. This is Mars of the CJ and Mars. Mars, this is Bo.
Mario, is your jaw on the floor like mine?
Oh, yes.
It's a pleasure to meet me.
Mars said he tripped over his chin 3 times.
And that's pretty easy to do about this time.
Well, on the amount of sleep I've had today, I could trip over mine pretty easily too. But anyway.
So you've been talking about conspiracies and things of that nature, from what I understand. I have a conspiracy going on, I think, myself, and I think it involves the Illuminati, because as you know, I am very amazing in the paranormal field, and people are jealous of me very much, and so cars are constantly going by my house with loud mufflers and loud music, and I think they do this on purpose. I think it's the Illuminati.
Right.
Because they're all out to get me.
Well, now, and you have actual pictures of aliens that you've captured in the trees in your backyard also, right?
Oh, yeah. Aliens, Bigfoot. In fact, I've been tracking a sea monster of sorts that was in the local stream.
Now, is this like Nessie or?
Similar. I still haven't given it a name yet, but I will very soon. I think it's directly related to the dinosaur that walked across my backyard last year.
So it's not a nice sea monster.
It was terrifying.
So
terrifying.
Instead of Nessie, we could call it Nasty.
Did it look like Sigmund from
I'm going to
Sigmund?
copyright that. More like burp and slurp. Kind of like that. They crawled out, yeah, and had seaweed all over them.
Now, I gotta ask, I mean, cause you have, you have the dinosaur, and now you have the sea monster, and you have the one-legged Sasquatch. Now, do they fight over the food supplies in your backyard there? Because I'm sure that the food supply would have to be kind of slim.
I do try to go out there, and I leave food out there for them. Thanks to my job situation, which I don't have one, I can just go and zip my benefit card and bring Count Chocula out to the backyard.
Now that's the favorite of the aliens, though, right?
Yes, they like Count Chocula. They make beer out of it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
We're adding another phone call right now, gentlemen.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, Roger?
Hey, Greg, how's it going, Bubba?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing just fine. You're just in time. We have His Eminence here with us, and you know Michael, right?
Michael? Yeah, I think I talked to him once before.
Okay, well, we have His Eminence here with us, and Michael Gray's here with us, and of course, CJ and I are here.
And
Hi, Denise.
Mario. Hi,
And
Greg. How
Mario.
you doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Sorry I'm a little late tonight, but I had some stuff I had to do, so.
Well, His Eminence was just regaling us with his tales from the backyard. It's been amazing. It's just amazing.
Yes,
And I missed that part. Is he still on or no?
Yes, he's here.
I'm here.
How you doing, your Royal Highness?
I'm very well. It's a pleasure for you to speak to me.
Oh, it's my honor. I bow to you.
I'm sure. I'm sure you.
Oh
It's
man,
okay.
like old home week over here. Oh man, so what's going on, guys?
Well, we were discussing. Now, Bo has found a new creature in his backyard since the last time we talked, and he has a sea monster now.
Oh yeah, what kind of monster, Roger?
It's a sea monster.
Oh, really?
It came out of the creek in his backyard there, and of course, I asked him, was it like Nessie, and he said it was not very nice. So I said, well, then we'll call it Nasty.
Okay. Yeah, you never know what he's going to find,
Yes, photos will be coming out soon.
Ah, yes. Don't forget to make him out of focus, though, too, a little bit,
With my two gig or megapixel camera.
Right.
Oh, Your Eminence, I meant to ask you. The last time we talked, you were still running Windows 95, right? And you were going to upgrade to 98.
Yes, I was going to upgrade to 98.
Have you did your upgrade yet? And how's that working for you?
Not at this time. I tried. I couldn't garbage pick one. There wasn't one around. And Goodwill didn't have any. So I'm working on it.
Well, now I'm sure that if you upgrade your computer, you nowadays when you buy a new computer, it has the updated software on it. I'm sure if you looked around, you could find one that already had Windows 98 on it.
Oh, okay. So, I'm not very tech savvy, so to speak. I'm just amazing, and
Okay, I have a question, Bo. Have you done any, I don't know, out of the way investigations lately? You'd like to tell us about?
oh, well, as you know, I'm calling from a secret location right now. Very secret. In fact, I should probably be whispering because I will be heard.
You will?
Yes, I don't want people to hear me where I'm at.
Why are we keeping it secret?
It's a very dark place.
It's a very dark place?
Yes, and I'm outside.
You're outside.
Does your parole officer know?
Cindy, can you move your curtain open just a little bit more?
There you go, Bo.
Hey, be sure to get
There you
some
go.
good
See me waving?
You are! You're outside my house!
Hi! Hello!
Be sure to get some blurry pictures, Val.
Well, I might have to leave pretty soon before the law gets here.
Dialing them now.
Oh! Okay, I'm just gonna walk backwards back up to the road. My car is further down the street, so I won't be able to talk very long.
Into the shadows.
Yes.
Awesome.
Just give me a little head start, because I'm not very fast.
Mentally or physically?
Either.
He kind of walks like that one-legged Sasquatch, so you got to give him a few minutes head start. So
I wanted to set up a fund for the poor one-legged Sasquatches, because like when you go to when you get wood outside, how do you break the wood? You put it up against a tree and you kick it, right? These poor things, they try to kick it with one leg, and the poor things fall down. You know, and I'm trying to get a fund together so people can go out there and break the wood for them, or give them some sort of assistance when they want to kick the wood, so they can not feel totally helpless. You know, give them their dignity.
Right, right.
Yes.
Well, that's a very honorable thing to do.
Perhaps we could set up a page, you know, funding for the one-legged Sasquatch, you know, to
Right,
build things.
right.
That'd
Set up
be
a
nice.
GoFundMe account for them, you know, get people to donate.
Yes.
There you go. We can have carpenters make a peg leg for them or something too.
Yeah. Then they can be like a one-legged Sasquatch pirate, you know.
Yeah. Maybe hire the Amish to make something for them.
Yes, yes.
They'll get it done real quick.
So Data says, so that sound is not tree knocking?
Oh. No, it's them falling down.
Oh.
So when they fall down, it sounds like tree knocking?
Well, the branch falls over and falls on the ground, so I guess maybe it does knock a little bit. Poor things.
When it falls on their head.
Well, let's
Tragic.
play one of Bo's songs here, and you know, just a friendly little reminder of the talent that this man has. He just amazes me.
Awesome talent, awesome talent.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up one of his things here. In fact, I might do two. Just hang on a second. Okay, let me see. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna play, I think, the Black Eyed Children sampler, and then I'm gonna follow it up with the hoaxer. So everybody stand by, and we get to listen to some Bo.
All right.
Got some black-eyed children. Got some black-eyed children. I've got some black-eyed children in my yard that only I can see. These black-eyed children are trying to make a liar out of me. Some people call me a big bully. Yeah. Some call me a prankster and fraud. Some people call me Bo Speak. But you see, I've been doing this so long. People say my shots are crappy. Say they need to see them like I need a comb. Never invited to investigate anywhere. So I do my investigations all around my home. Because I figure I could be thinner. There's an ET, but my cat wants dinner. I want attention, but I get none. I'm a loafer. I'm a hoaxer. An emotional roller coaster. I need to harass everyone. Oh. My pictures are the fakest that you ever did see. My footage is so fraudulent, it'll make you scream. Copy, cut, copy, photoshopping all the time. Try to keep a straight face when I say it's genuine. Cause I figure I could be thinner. ET's in my backyard, but my cat wants dinner. I want attention, but I get none. I'm all over. I'm a hoaxer, an emotional roller coaster. I need to harass everyone. People keep talking about me daily. Say I'm doing paranormal wrong. But don't worry. No, don't you worry none. Oh, wait a minute, what am I kidding? Yeah, they got me on this one. Yeah. My pictures are the biggest you ever did see. The footage is so fraudulent, it'll make you scream. Copy, photoshopping all the time. And believe me when I tell you it's all genuine. But don't you know who I am?
Okay.
Whoa.
That was awesome.
I am.
Of course, I didn't get to hear my favorite song from the album, but there's always next time. I love Photoshop. I thought that was awesome.
Well, thank you.
But anyway,
It's a labor of love.
that one was picture perfect. I'm saying that
Thank
one
you.
was really awesome. Now, it's been a while, and have you had any of your alien buddies come to visit lately that we haven't heard about, or?
No, since I've been on my vacation, so to speak, they haven't come around. They've given me messages that they were in town. They would distort the picture on my TV when I was watching television. The screen would get kind of distorted and pixelated, and I knew that that was them. It was the reptilians, but some of them had left messages for me, but they haven't stopped by. They knew I needed to take a rest for a little while because I was like really at it in the Jerk Heart Studios, and I think what exhausted me the most was picking up all the dirty laundry afterwards that collapsed. The sound buffers that I had, the baskets of dirty laundry that collapsed on the floor, and that was just very exhausting and took me a long time to recover.
Yeah, and of course your studio was out of whack for a while there after that.
Yes, but after we got that stuff together, we really hit the nail on the head there with the hits were just pumping out one after another.
Right.
Well, everybody, it's about 2 minutes to the end of the show. Now, what I need to do here is, first off, I want to say thank you to Michael Gray for his appearance on the show tonight. Mike,
Thank you, Michael.
yeah, you wanna give out your information and when your show is on, and the the Facebook page where they can come and find you.
Yeah, real simple. It's Parlay, Michael Gray Parlay. Thursday at 8:00, and this Thursday show is Alan Foreman, and he does a show on hidden cancer cures, how he helped his father, who unfortunately did pass away because of bad doctor advice. And yeah, just 8:30. I'm sorry, Parlay 8:00. 8 p.m. on CJ Moore's Radio. I'm a little shell-shocked right now, so.
That's
all, folks.
He's been introduced to Bo. That's it. And of course, they can find you. they can find you on Facebook at the Parlay page, and
Right.
everybody be sure and go on up there and friend Michael, and support the show for us because it's a great show. I love it.
It
And
really
then,
is.
of course, we've got Greg who called in. Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Greg.
you're welcome, guys. I wish I could have spent more time with you, but you'll be on next week, so I'll be there.
Always a pleasure having you.
That's right. We
And,
love
and I,
we
I
love
want to thank
Iron
Roger
Island.
for having me. Thank you, Roger.
And
Thank you,
Mike,
Cindy, for having me
man,
as
we
a guest.
appreciate you coming on so much, man. It was really an awesome show.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And last but most, His Eminence, Bo Jerkhart. Bo, you know we love you.
I know.
Your Eminence, we look forward to you calling in. I mean, it's one of the most exciting parts of the show.
Well, it's good to be back. I'm glad you're back, and
Well, thank you.
and
I'm glad to
Dr.
be
Love.
back.
Very good.
And of course, everybody that isn't familiar, this is Half Past Dead Paranormal Radio. Yes, we are back. And Cindy Jean-Pierre is my co-host here, and she is the owner and operator of CJMarsRadio.com.
And
Everybody give her a round of applause.
my partner, Roger Belt, who is the owner and operator of Half Past Dead Paranormal, and my little brother. No, he's not really related to me, but he is my little brother.
We are siblings
of the soul.
Yeah, there you go.
Soulmates, right?
Well, we're soul siblings. There you go.
Soul
hey, that's
siblings.
a new word.
All right.
I just coined a new word.
All right, I love it.
But yeah, this has been great, and it's always a pleasure having Bo on here, and his eminence just makes the show. So
the cops are here.
I
gotta go.
Run. You better run.
Jeez.
Well, and you close your curtain now, CJ, too. So.
He rolled the shotgun,
But anyways, I want to thank all the people listening in via phone and other options that are out there. We hope y'all enjoyed the re-premiere of Half Past Dead Paranormal Radio on the CJ Mars Radio Network. You can find me on Facebook at Half Past Dead Paranormal Investigations. And, of course, you can find Greg on Facebook. You can find CJ on Facebook. We're all there. Everybody's there, of course. Exactly. The CJ Mars Radio page is on Facebook. You can find me on Google Plus, Half Past Dead Paranormal Unity Community. And, of course, we're all there. Everybody's there. So, yes, you can. You can find His Eminence on Facebook as well. And Michael Gray, of course. Next week, we have Derek Tyler, and everybody that's interested in aliens, UFOs, the government conspiracy on that whole deal, you won't want to miss that one because it's going to be a great show. This guy is full of more information than you can shake a stick at, and he will scare the bejesus out of you. So you want to make sure you be there for that one.
Okay.
Definitely be there.
And Dita, good night. Big Bird, good night. You are my favorite two nutcases. We are out of here. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Monday night at 8 Eastern.
Okay.
Good night,
everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, guys. Good night.